guys, welcome back to your Good Life Now podcast. I am Frankie Martinez, and first off, I want to say thank you for tuning in. If you haven't checked out last week's episode, I gotta start with telling you about last week. We interviewed the Young Escape, which is my favorite Christian band. They are so cool, very cool, nice people. I think you're gonna get a lot of good stuff out of that interview. It was awesome. A lot of really deep. We kind of went deep, which was cool. But we did have a great time. It was definitely the funnest interview I've ever done. So definitely check that out. I'm sure you will enjoy it. But today we are continuing our series, season 4, called The Pursuit of Happiness. I love that phrase because it's in the Declaration of Independence for the United States, right? And it says that we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, I love that. I love that it says that we have the right to pursue happiness because, think about that. It's just, that's what we all really want, right? We just want to be happy. We want to live our life, have freedom to do what we want, but most importantly, to pursue happiness. And that's really I believe, the core and the heart of everything that we try to do. We obviously are trying to do things that'll make us happy, that'll make life more enjoyable. Unfortunately, sometimes it's the wrong things, but the pursuit of happiness, nonetheless, is what we all really want and are pursuing, are after. So that's what this season is going to be about. We're going to be talking about being happy. Being happy is so important because, as we understand here, we can achieve success and do so much, but if we're not happy in the process or even at the end result, was it even really worth it? I don't think so. Happy means, I'm going to read a few definitions of happy. It says means an enjoyable state or enjoyable or satisfied state of being. Happiness is a sense of well-being or contentment. I love this definition. It says happiness is that feeling that comes over you when you know life is good and you can't help but smile. I believe that. That's why our logo, we have a little tilted smile because a regular smile is not enough. We got to tilt a little bit, right? So, but in our pursuit of happiness, we need to guard our hearts. We need to guard our hearts because I'm going to read this verse here. Mark chapter 8, verse 36. It says, "What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul?" I'm going to read it one more time. What good is it for somebody to gain the whole world, meaning, riches, fame, success, whatever you perceive as your whole world? What good is it to gain that whole world yet to forfeit their soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? And I love how it talks about forfeiting your soul. Because, when you're in a sports game and, sometimes if not enough players show up, then you can't play. You got to forfeit the game, right? That means you didn't technically lose the game. You just had to quit. You had to voluntarily take the loss because you didn't have enough players. So now you forfeited the game. I like this version. The NIV, it says that, what good is it for someone to gain the world yet forfeit their soul? Because that's what happens when we aren't aligning ourselves with our true purpose. We end up forfeiting who we are. If we're not proper, maybe in our pursuit of happiness, we end up forfeiting who we really are. Now, it's important to know, I know a lot of people use this verse talking about our eternal soul, don't lose your soul, talking about heaven and all that. But this verse isn't just talking about eternity, because your soul is more than just where you're going to spend your destination for eternity, but your soul is part of who you are. It's actually who you are. It's what makes you come alive. It's the uniqueness of you. It's what you were designed to bring to the world. It's your passion, your joy. It's your zest for life. And I love this verse. It came to my heart when I was thinking about the pursuit of happiness and being happy, because it's saying, in our pursuit of happiness, we must not lose ourselves, because sometimes we put happiness on a goal, or maybe an achievement. Whatever we're putting on, we label happiness on something, right? We're like, well, once I reach this, then I'm going to be happy. Once I get married, then I'll be happy. Once I buy my dream home, then I'll be happy. Once, I reach this level of success, or I'm famous, and whatever your goal is, we give up so much to reach the goal that sometimes in the process, like this verse I believe is saying, what good is it to you to gain that goal, to reach that destination? What good is it for you to achieve success? And I think it's so important because in this day and age, I mentioned in another episode as I was interviewing Tim Story, I know a lot of young people, and a lot of their goals in life is just to be famous, to be rich and famous. That's their goal. But what good is it to gain that if you lose your soul in the process? Now, I'm not talking about your eternal soul. I mean, you could lose that too, but losing who you are. And again, I like how this verse says, you don't really lose it, you forfeit it. You give up a piece of who you are in order to attain this level or status of success that you want, this position, and it's not worth it. That's what the Bible's saying. What can anyone give in exchange for who you really are? Your soul is your zest. It's your passion. It's your secret power. I like to call it's your secret power. Why? Because it's what really makes you happy. It's what makes you come alive. When you're doing something with all you got inside of you, you're tapping into your soul, your power, what you were created to do. And that is attractive to people. That draws people because they can see that you aren't just doing a physical activity. You're actually tapping into who you are, your purpose, your soul. And that makes the world come alive. It makes you come on fire. Your soul is the secret to who you are. It's the secret power to what will make you happy. One of the ways the devil tempted Jesus in Luke chapter 4 was what? He says, I will give you all the kingdoms of the world for what? If you would forfeit your soul, who you really are, and worship me. I'm telling you, your soul is your power, and it's what the devil's trying to muzzle, silence, and hide from the world. So as we are pursuing happiness, or as you are reaching towards certain goals that you believe that are going to make you happy, do it with zest, do it with zeal, do it with everything you got, but don't lose your soul. Guard your heart that you're not letting the world tell you who you need to be so that you can achieve this, because your soul is who you really are. It's your core beliefs. It's what makes you you. And I'm telling you, the world needs more of you, not somebody else, not you trying to imitate somebody in order to achieve success. I believe you will achieve success more when you are yourself and not trying to be somebody else, right? So here it is. The devil was tempting Jesus to give up who he was, to worship him for the world, right? Going along with that whole verse, if you gain the whole world to forfeit your soul. The devil doesn't necessarily want to take your life physically. He's okay with you breathing as long as you don't tap into the power of who you really are, right? You can live as long as you're not happy and fulfilled and content. I mean, think about that. Would you gain the whole world to lose a part of who you are? To lose your identity, to lose what you created for, to lose what God made you for. Now it's not wrong to gain those things, right? I mean, it's okay to have status, it's okay to have wealth, notoriety. Those things are fine, but not at the cost of being a discount version of yourself or betraying your core beliefs, right? You don't want to do that. Because nothing is worth losing those parts of you that make you you. So I'm going to encourage us, as we are pursuing happiness, let's not forfeit who we really are. The Bible says, John 10:10, that the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but Jesus has come to what? To give us life, and life more abundantly. Again, this isn't just talking about your physical life, okay? The devil, I mean, I'm sure he would like to take our lives, but he's not just, that's not his only goal, because we're alive, right? But the devil, it's not just about him stealing your physical life. He wants to steal, kill, and destroy the core of who you are, what you were placed on this earth to do. That's what he really wants to steal, because like I said, he'll let you live your life as long as you're not reaching your full potential, as long as you're not tapping into what you're created to live. And I think that's the part that we face the most attack in our lives, is the part of our soul, the part of our true purpose. Because that part of us, if we tap into it and release it, that's going to bring joy to you. It's going to really bring happiness in your life. right? It's going to really bring joy into your life, and it's going to really transform you. But not only you, when you tap into who you really are, and when you're pursuing happiness and maybe achieve happiness by doing what you're created to do, that's when others around you come to life, right? So, what do? How can we pursue happiness while guarding our hearts? First off, plain and simple, just like the verse says, don't lose your soul. That part of you that's your core, your dreams, your hopes, your zest, your passion for life. Keep that thriving at all costs. Do not let anyone crush your dreams. Keep your dreams alive because God put them there for a reason. Don't lose who you are in the process. If you're achieving, even a I don't know, a raise or a position, a higher position, and it starts to compromise your character, your core beliefs, it's not worth it. God can promote you and bless you without you compromising or losing your soul. So what else can we do? This is one of my favorite, to not lose your soul, to not lose who you are. Stay playful. Stay playful regardless of your age. I'm telling you, youth is not an age. It's a state of being. It's a way of life. I don't care how old you are or how young you are. You got to stay playful, because if you stay playful, you will experience happiness. There's so much joy. I mean, trust me, I know there's so much in life, so much responsibilities, so much demands of life that try to snuff the joy out of our life, that try to get us to live life without being happy, without experiencing that. And we think that, well, I need to achieve or attain to be happy. But no, you could be happy right now if you would just trust God with your responsibilities. I'm not obviously be responsible, do what you gotta do, but trust God and not stress about it. Don't worry about it. Don't be stressed about it. And what you can do, why don't you play? Why don't you just go out and enjoy life a little bit? And if you would be more playful and be silly, I mean, that's one of the things that I do. I run a business, and one of the mottos in my business is to have fun and get the job done. Because I've discovered if you're not having fun, you're not as productive, you don't enjoy your job, you're not getting as much done. On our team, we get a lot more done when we're having fun. So we turn up the music, we enjoy life, we do our jobs, but we do it with joy, because when you're doing it playfully, when you're doing it with a good attitude, you are very much more productive than you would if you were upset or stressed out trying to reach a deadline. So that still takes play into our life. I don't know what your life is like. I don't know what is causing you stress or causing you to get worried or fearful of the future, but I'm encouraging you, get to know God, trust God, rest on Him, and be playful. If you would be playful, it would give you a different perspective on your problem. It will give you a different perspective on what you're facing. And it all has to do with having a playful spirit, And if you keep that, if you let that be a part of the culture in your home, in your family, in your jobs, workplace, wherever you're at, if you would keep a playful atmosphere, you're going to notice you're going to enjoy life a little bit more. You're going to get a lot more done. And you're going to realize that you don't really need to pursue happiness as much, because it's pursuing you, because it's already here. And that's the object of this podcast, right? Your good life now. You don't need to wait to be happy. The pursuit of happiness can be attained right now. As you're listening to this podcast, you can attain happiness by shifting your perspective, by not letting the big things get you down, by trusting God and knowing that He loves you and He's got great intentions for you, and by being playful. It takes faith to play, guys, doesn't it? When you're an adult and you have a lot of responsibility and demands of life, the last thing you want to do is just play. But I'm telling you why? Because you think, I gotta do this thing, I gotta reach this goal, I gotta work harder to, you know what? Why work hard, but trust God at the same time. And if you work hard and trust God at the same time, you can be playful. You can enjoy life. You can get that childlike faith again, get that childlike faith where you're trusting God, things are going to be all right, and you can have fun. It's going to lighten up the atmosphere. It's going to allow you to be happy today, right now. I'm encouraging you, do something today, do something right now today that can be playful. Or even if you can't set aside time, do whatever you're doing in a playful way. You could do it in a playful manner. If you're driving, turn up the music after this podcast. Sing really loud. No one can hear you. Turn up the windows. It don't matter. Whatever. If you're, I don't know, at work, do your work while you're humming a song. I don't know, do something that will change whatever you're doing to do it in a playful way, because that is what helps you keep part of your soul. When you're playful, you believe. When you're playful, you can dream. When you're playful, your faith increases because you can say, you know what? I'm feeling so good. I feel good. I feel happy. I think God can do this in my life. I think it can happen. But man, when you are depressed or stressed or bummed out, all you see is how things are not going to work. So let's stay playful, guys. Being playful is something I love to do, and I love to make sure I'm always staying playful. I pray I never change that because it really makes me happy. And it's just, I'm like I said, I implement that in the business because I know we get a lot more done when we're happy. Life is good. So the last thing we can do to not lose our soul in the pursuit of happiness, part of us, is to live your purpose. Now, the key word here is your purpose, not live on purpose, because you can live on purpose, on any purpose. You can find a purpose to live. Well, my purpose is to count as many trees as I see. And now your life has a purpose. My purpose is to, I don't know, count dogs, butterflies. I don't know why we're counting stuff, but your purpose could be anything you want. You can live on purpose, but what's really going to make you happy is not living on purpose, but living your purpose, doing what you were created to do, doing what you were designed to do. And if you haven't, I encourage you to check out the very first episode called Purpose Over Profession. And actually the whole first season was dedicated to life purpose, because it's one of the greatest things I believe that we can do to be happy is to live on purpose. And when we're living on purpose, we are happy people. It doesn't mean that we don't have issues. We're going to talk about that next week, because we do have issues. There are problems that rise up and challenges that we face, but you can still be happy, okay? We got to be happy. That's what life is about. It's the pursuit of happiness. Happiness doesn't come from a position. It doesn't come from a status. It doesn't come from a goal being reached. It comes from your heart choosing to trust God and smile and live a good life. And that's what life is all about. So I encourage you to live your purpose. And sometimes I've discovered we're so influenced by other people that we don't even really know what our purpose is, because we think our purpose is what their purpose is, or their purpose is, or that person you are obsessed with on Instagram or following, or the person you look up to. Now, it's not wrong to look up to people and to admire people, but you got to realize God doesn't make copies. He makes originals. So my question to you is, what did God make you for? Now, I admire a lot of people and I look up to them, but I'm seeking the Lord constantly. God, don't let my admiration of others influence who you've created me to be. And I think that's really cool. Sometimes God needs to get you alone where you're not influenced by other people, at least so you could find out who you are, what God is telling you to do, who God created you to be. And because that's what's going to bring ultimate fulfillment. And that's the true attainment of happiness, is finding what you are here to do on earth and doing it. And that is going to lead to ultimate happiness, because when you're in the flow, when you're doing what God created you to do, a lot of the small things don't matter. Yes, challenges rise up. Yes, we go through difficulties, but you can be happy. And you can be happy even when things are tough. And we're going to talk more about that next week, so make sure you tune in for that. But I did want to encourage you and kind of kick off the pursuit of happiness with just this kind of general idea of what we're going to be talking about. So I hope it encourages you and empowers you. And I hope today that the number one thing you get out of it is don't lose who you are in your pursuit of happiness. Don't forfeit your soul, your person, even in your business. Be yourself. I think the more you find out who God made you, the more you're yourself, the more happy you're going to be. So I encourage you with that. Don't lose your soul with that. Let's focus on who God made us to be. And of course, I think one of my biggest things of being happy is just be playful. You can be successful and playful. You can have status and be playful. You don't gotta be, all bitter and grumpy to be successful or to have status. Let's change the game, okay? Let's be playful and successful, playful and wealthy, playful with status and all the other things you're pursuing. If you keep that playful spirit, I know you will be happy. So look, I hope this encouraged you, empowered you, and just made you smile just a little bit. And as soon as you turn this podcast off, do something playful. I promise it'll bring a smile to your face and release some pressures off of life. So if you're enjoying this podcast, I would love if you would just send us a comment or email. You can email us at yourgoodlifenow@yahoo.com. We are on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere you can find us. Just reach out to us. Let us know you're enjoying this podcast. And my friends, as always, cheers to your good life.
Living that good life. I'm just living that good life. I'm just living that good life. I'm just living that good life.